see a version of Bloodborne, maybe if it ever gets onto PC, with a mod that can bring back in some of the lighting that we saw in the alpha.
Yes, and to have all the cut content as well.
That could be super interesting too. I love a lot of the cut content stuff, but I'm trying not to let it inform my decision-making process on any of the lore stuff right here.
100%. While I'm trying to fight this wolf, you want to talk a little bit about cut content? Because it's an interesting point of distinction when lore hunting.
Yeah. The cut content is really cool. I think what we had discussed before about where we want to take this lore hunting is first build our ideas from what we see in game and what we can speculate from that, and then use some of the things that have been said in actual interviews of the design process and in our own research of things like the etymology of words and the diction, that we're coming across in these games, to inform our decisions first and foremost. But this game has been noted to oh my.
I'm fine. I'm safe.
Yep, I just saw him fly on by.
Hey there, bud. What you doing down there?
Oh, hey, bud. But this game was noted to have been a bit rushed in production, and they ended up cutting a lot of content, and some of it was pretty well formed, and it was even recycled later back into the DLC. And there's a lot of cut dialogue. This game used to actually appear to have a lot more dialogue between characters and more developed covenants, almost. So looking into some of those to help build lore world theories can be interesting, because it lets you understand the mental space that the creators were in when they were designing a lot of these places, which can be incredibly informative in your own opinions, but you do have to be very careful to make sure it's not overly influencing your biases.
I think there is something to be said about, if you can do the research for the development cycle, how rushed it was, how much of it is well formed. Like, if you can be discerning in that sort of thing, it probably is like safe to start to integrate a lot of that stuff into your canon. Oh, come on.
And a lot of the cut content seems to be a bit surrounding Chalice dungeons. There's a lot of interesting stuff that you can access via that the community has uncovered through various means, such as like save editing and things like that. Very, very cool stuff in there. Because a lot of those also seemed to be test rooms for certain things.
Oh, that's cool.
And there would be there's like an alternate one or two different versions of the moon presence itself. There's like a Great One beast, something that looks between like a kin and a beast.
Oh, that's we're gonna have to look at those at some point.
Yeah, I think doing like a nice little aside every once in a while for that, and maybe trying to explore those could be really cool.
Absolutely, yeah. That sounds like handbook stuff. All right, so we've got a couple new items. We've got oil urn and some thick cold blood.
I love the oil urn description.
When the oil urn hits its mark, the target is drenched in oil and made extremely flammable. Fire is commonplace on the hunt, and oil urns accentuate its effect. Sometimes when hunters burn beasts, they appear intoxicated by the euphoria of purification.
Right. See, that's where I was saying earlier, them crucifying and stringing up all these beasts and burning them seems very much like the propaganda machine of the church has really
oh yeah,
lit a fire in them to be facetious here.
100%. Yeah, this is the propaganda of the church in full swing on the oil urn.
Do those have different descriptions? The blood do?
Yes, depending on their thickness.
Hmm.
And also, it looks very much like I'm going to try to keep one of each level, so eventually we can have the flipbook page. But it looks like
they are
definitely like depictions of a blood droplet in its various stages of splattering.
Yeah, and one of them is even quite large.
Mm-hmm. So here we have a thick droplet of cold blood containing blood echoes. Used to gain a larger amount of blood echoes, strong will produces thick blood. Doubtless the product of obsession, a potent source of human strength.
Oh, obsession is a potent source of human strength.
So this makes me wonder.
That is interesting.
Yeah, this makes me wonder
What
if the Great
is
Ones.
the arcane?
Yeah, if the Great Ones are actually like slowly nudging like minds towards obsession, towards this strong will, in order to basically cultivate more
Right.
potent blood echoes. More delicious blood.
They wouldn't. So the Moon Presence wouldn't want a weak-willed hunter, someone that's willing to accept Gehrman's offer to remove them from the dream.
Right. They'd want thick blood.
Mm-hmm. They want that dummy thick blood. With 7 C's minimum.
Come for you, you rat. Plague-ridden rat.
Chippy chip 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 chip. Come on, boy. Yeah. Oh no.
Right into the abdomen.
It's a very subtle thing, but the way that the hand like enlarges when you do a visceral attack has always been super spooky to me.
Which hand? The hand that we use, or the hand of the thing that we're attacking?
The hand that we use.
Oh, that's interesting. I'll need to look at that. I've never noticed that. So I'm gonna get on my hunter's garb.
Yeah, getting some spiffy new duds.
Oh, feels great. Alright, let's do some reading, huh?
Fashion born for fashion.
That's really why we're here, folks. A hunter hat, one of the standard articles of hunter attire fashioned at the workshop. A fine piece of hunter attire that provides stable defense to anyone facing Yharnam's beastly threat. Recognizable by its withered feathers, this cap is fashioned after one of the old hunters.
Also looks very acceptable for coronavirus.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. The quarantine was long ago in Yharnam. We've progressed many centuries past that. We have hunter garb. Same description here, only it says accompanied with a short cape to wipe away blood. A fine piece of hunter attire. Allows one to stalk beast unannounced by cover of night. Hunter gloves. Same description for the first line. And second and third. And same for the hunter trousers.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, now, I think there's some items over here that I missed, and I might also have to kill the enemies that I knocked down into this trench. Did not actually kill. Hey, rats.
Yeah, there's a doink load of rats.
Rats love the sewers. Welcome back to our lore through. Rats love sewers. This is what we've learned today.
Shh, they're onto us.
Today, for our episode today, we're in an actual sewer. And, yep, there are rats here. So it's case closed. Oh yeah, there's still a wolf back there. He's being held in by those rats.
Oh God, bless them.
No kidding. I'm just gonna let them revel as babes.
Holy
is my
cow! You gonna drop on them? Is that what you mean?
Dummy thick.
That's the humane way. Go a dunk on them, dude.
Speaking of humane.
Hi, welcome to the Humane Society.
I'm ready to get...
Today we're going to be catching
a
stray
they all
dog.
noticed me. Why did these guys notice me, but Senpai never fucking notices me?
That's the eternal question. You got to get to the end of the game for Moon Presence Senpai to notice you.
It's true. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, he's drifting back. So we're going to use the old splatter him with oil.
Enough oil to spoil.
Oh, come on. Good thing I have 10 Molotovs.
Yeah. Gascoigne kept jumping out of the way of mine.
Gascoigne's a slippery fellow.
He's slippery, especially when he gets mad.
Don't be mad at me. You're the one who killed your wife.
Yeah, he's a surprisingly he's a hard boss for like the introductory to a game.
He really is.
Like Cleric Beast is intimidating and can definitely kill you, but it doesn't do as much damage as you'd expect it to, being that big.
It's true. The first time I went at him with no UI, I was like, oh, damn, did I actually beat him? But it didn't take that many hits. Like, I did get a couple Viscerals in, and that obviously made a big difference, but still. Gascoigne, however, I constantly thought I had beat him, and then there was another phase, and I was like, oh, shoot. Okay, so here we have some just corpses in the gutter. Which do... Oh, maybe this is the coffin lore. Maybe this
look
is
at all
coffin
those hotties.
We're going to drop on them. They dummy thick.
Beware of hotties.
This could actually be coffin lore here. Because these are, for sure, dead-seeming corpses.
Yeah, they are face down in the water, not breathing, not moving.
This is what I'd call dead. But turns out they're not. So it could be that this is the, like... This is actually what happens to dead bodies who are affected by beasthood. And this could be why we have to chain up the coffins.
Right.
We could just be
so there's like a whole industry almost of death that seems to have developed over time in Yharnam, because what is Hemwick Charnel Lane?
Basically a bone dust manufacturing center now, but was probably just a regular ass charnel house back in the old days of Yharnam.
Yeah, but it's interesting that they had like a whole lane, not just a charnel house, but like a lane devoted to the storage of corpses.
I think that could actually have been something set up by the nobles at Canehurst. I think that maybe the nobles at Canehurst, like...
They would want the bone ash.
Exactly. They want the bone ash and they want blood. It seems like there has been a lineage of them understanding some truths about the old blood sometime before. Like, it seems like maybe they are Thumerian in their heritage, and so, like, they sort of predate the specific Yharnam Beast Plague. And so it could be that the charnel house was sort of set up as a pretty, big operation with the Hemwick Crossing and all. And if you look at where the bridge used to lead, it used to lead to Hemwick Crossing, which is right in front of the charnel house. So it could be an aristocracy thing, like a, hey, bring us your dead because we want them. Yeah.
It is very interesting. I like the implication that there is some ancient relation to the Canehurst and the Thumerian. That's very cool. It would also make sense why their blood is somehow special and more powerful. It's also implied that they got a hold of some forbidden bloods. Like they might have used their influence to pay someone off to bring them a sample and maybe reawaken some of their old powers.
Oh, that's interesting. You'll have to point out when we reach that lore.
Right.
I'd never thought of it that way. And this should be some Madman's Knowledge. Alright, I haven't met Eileen because I went to this place in a weird spot, so I don't have the Bold Hunter's Mark. But we'll read a little bit about Madman's Knowledge now. This is central to my lore theory, which is...
I can see that.
Yeah. Literally from the picture. Because what we have here
buckets.
is a skull of Madman touched by the wisdom of the Great Ones. And... Sorry, I'm hearing patting of little feet, so I just want to make sure. Cool. I think the wisdom might be like little whiz kids, like little Great One kids in our brains. Skull of Madman touched by the wisdom of the Great Ones, used to gain insight. Making contact with Eldritch wisdom is a blessing, for even if it drives one mad, it allows one to serve a grander purpose for posterity.
For posterity.
Posterity. Now that's a word that I used to think of in a different way than I do now.
For whose children?
Exactly. Whose children's posterity are we serving? And
for
this has to do...
man's children? For Yharnam's children to push forward and trying to ascend like the Thumerians did, or for something else?
Well, in posterity, is the root word of posterity not posture?
Go. Let's find out.
Because if the root word for posterity is posture, you know, for posterity meaning, in other words, like, you know, to appear, you know,
Okay.
correctly aligned.
Late Middle English from Old French, pastorit. From Latin, pastoritas.
Pastoritas.
From posteris, for following.
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 Are there other definitions?
Let me zoom on in.
Or does
Following and coming after.
I see.
From post, as in after.
Ah, okay. God damn, these crows are assholes.
Posterity, all future generations, especially the descendants of a specific person.
I wonder if so it's not linked to posture in any way then, or maybe posture is derived from those words.
Maybe they have a shared posture.
Because I was actually thinking of like clockwise or counterclockwise metamorphosis being like the posterity of.
It looks like it has a different lineage here.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
So cold,
From French and from Italian, postura. From Latin, positura, position, situation. So posture is literally your positioning. How you are positioning yourself. And it's just evolved to have a more sort of specific meaning over time. Or it could mean a situation or condition, one's attitude, or the social or political position one takes towards an issue.
For posterity's sake is like a pretty common turn of phrase.
Yep.
And like it's something that, like what aristocrats would say.
Yep.
Like, oh, we must do this for posterity, you know, for I guess their lineage, like to do justice to their lineage, or something like that. All right, so we just took out that guy in a horrible display of proper parrying techniques. And this will be our penultimate thing that we do here, which is engage this very sad little girl before we go cash in some blood echoes with this newly found insight.
Who are you? I don't know your voice, but I know that smell. Are you a hunter? Can you just say that to my mum?
Technically the first person we meet who can tell a hunter by the smell.
To find him, but now she's
Right.
free. I'm all alone and scared.
Nah, yeah, no, I'll find her.
Oh, thank you. My mum wears a red jeweled brooch.
Even my character's looking for that person.
Beautiful. You won't miss it. I mustn't forget.
The Scrunchman.
Find my mum. Give her this music.
Shadrach Skulker.
Shadrach Skulker. What was that, sir? Shadrach Skulker.
It plays when
Okay, you just stay in your dark little corner.
and when Betty
Hi.
remembers. Mum's so silly coming off without it.
Mom's so silly running off without it.
My
Oof.
mum wears a red. It's so big and beautiful. You won't miss it. Oh, and if you find her,
Yeah, we'll call her fate, silly.
It's terrifying. The scariest thing to me about this whole storyline is the fact that her and the mother had to use the music box multiple times before to bring him back to like that. To me, that's the most fundamentally terrifying thing.
It's a lens into their family I wish I didn't have.
Yes, indeed. Like
It's
oof.
like when you hear one of those like home life stories that you're just like,
Yeah.
okay, hey, I'm gonna go lay down and just live with that for a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna go have my own home life. That's oof. All right, so here we have the tiny music box. A small music box received from a young Yarnum girl plays a song shared by her mother and father. Inside the lid is a small scrap of paper, perhaps an old message. Two names can be made out, however faintly. Viola and Gascoigne. So sad.
Voila!
Haha! And voila, you got yourself a beast father. Also of note, we didn't get to hear this because we approached from the wrong direction, but the guy down there says, "So cold, dear sister." And in fact, all of the hulking brutes say that, which means that we probably can't derive a lot of lore from it.
Right.
Just because all brutes do say it, but it could just be an oversight in their game design, and really it was just this brute who was supposed to say it, because I can't think of any other good reason that all of the brutes would have sisters that were cold, you know?
Yeah. Oh, don't forget to crank that.
It could be, however, like I have a small theory. I have a small theory that the canon playthrough is like a woman in Bloodborne, just because there are unique voice lines for women in the game, but there are not unique voice lines. I mean, there are unique voice lines for men in that, like, there are default voice lines for men, but there are no voice lines that you'll access only by being a man, whereas there are voice lines that you'll access only by being a woman.
That's very cool.
And so it could be...
I can't wait to see some of those. It
could mean that that when they're saying "so cold, dear sister," it actually is just like a canon way of addressing the player character. Which is like the only way I can think to justify all of those brutes having that voice line.
Right. I mean, the really uninteresting one is that they wanted to turn it on. It's just some flag that they were checking in the memory or whatever for that one under the stairs, and then.
Oh yeah, like the
turn it on for all of them.
Yeah, a design accident would be one thing, but if we had to come up with a lore explanation for it, I can't think of any other.
I think that's actually a really fascinating point, that the canon is that the hunter is supposed to be female.
I think it would make sense too for the moon presence to have a predilection towards females. If the hunter's contract is specifically to nurture, infant great ones, that they would probably go. More on
women do play a very central role to a lot of the story in here. Hey man, away.
Away, you plague-ridden rat. Okay, done with those guys, because now there's some doggy boys to deal with. Doggy boy,
wow, wow. Yippee-yi, yippee-yay.
Where are my dogs at? Oh, there they are.
Where are my dogs at today? Morph!
Come on.
They're my hunting dogs, Tungo and Dungo.
They resent their names, but that's all right. They love them.
That's what keeps them mad.
God damn it. I hate dogs. They always know where the end of my axe is. And they always happen to jump just right outside of it.
Some high mobility.
They're the most intelligent enemies in this whole freaking game, man.
Yeah. Even the big old doggos are like hard bosses.
Oh, hey there, Wolfie. Do not call us that. Cute Wolfie thinks they can talk. Blast.
I most certainly can.
I know I can talk. Alright, now which direction is it for the shortcut? I think I have to go past those doofuses, don't I? Darn. I don't want to go past those doofuses.
Which shortcut are you trying to access? The one through the spooky house?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
the
on the
spooky
side
house
of the
is
dogs.
beyond them.
And spook. And... Oh, I killed that guy already. Oh, did I already kill one of those dogs? I did.
You did. You lured him down into the sewers.
Oh, look at this idiot.
Oh, goodness.
This is a human house, sir. These doors are not built for you.
Ooh, rough stuff there, buddy.
Listen, I got a treat for you.
Hey.
This not treat.
Come on, it's time to take your pills. Stop shooting me and calling them pills. You've got a lead deficiency. I mean, a quicksilver deficiency.
Uh, check your cannon, sir.
Oh, I'm not doing a cannon run. I don't have enough strength on my build.
Yeah, well, we'll see what Gilbert has to say about that. He's still telling me how to get to the healing church. Always good
Gilbert
to check.
is still Chilbert.
Gilbert's a sad story of this game. There are no happy stories in this game. Except for
Yep.
the infant great ones, I guess.
They have a great time.
They have a time, thanks to us.
Mikolash was having a great time until we came on.
Well, who's this? And what is it? Is it Hunter's Rally that she'll clap for? Because she's happy that we're excited. She's like, oh, good job. All right, doll. Tell us your deal.
Good hunter.
Clap, 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 clap.
Here in this dream to look after you. Honorable hunter, pursue the echoes of blood, and I will channel them into your strength. You will hunt beasts, and I will be here for you to embolden your sickly spirit.
I've always wondered what
Very
the
well.
origin of her accent is.
Let the echoes become your strength.
Because, to me,
Let me
channel
stand
them into
close.
your strength.
Now shut your eyes.
It sounds like either... Like part of it sounds almost like, 15 strength, baby. That's how I roll. Hell yeah. Part of it sounds like Japanese if they were speaking English, but
A little, yeah.
part of it sounds like, just Eastern European, like Romanian or something like that.
Farewell.
Yeah.
May you
It gives
find
a
your
real
voice
different
in the
vibe
waking
to
world.
the other folks that have that accent.
Consume insight and ring the beckoning bell. And the silencing link. And the old hunter bell. Now we can team up for the next one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that'll be exciting.
Now that we have our baconing bell.
Ooh, Baconator.
Delicious. All right.
Who does the
so
Baconator? Is that Burger King?
It's
Come
Wendy's. It's Wendy's. We don't.
on.
talk about
Wendy's
them, though.
does it. No one can Randy the Wendy out of my hand.
Well, they donated to the Trump re-election campaign like 2 weeks ago. So this was during the riots. So I'm gonna have to ask you to Randy that Wendy out of your hand.
I've disposed of it already.
Fantastic. Alrighty, and that'll be
Yeah.
our last upload. We'll read into these on the next one.